Hi, my name's Lot, and I used to be really fucking fat. I'm not really that fat anymore. How are we? I'm gonna do something a little bit different today from my usual content of looking at the goals or looking at what I eat in the days. I don't want to get pigeonholed down the reactionary route. I have a lot to say, if you just couldn't fucking tell, and I want to say it. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different and hope it doesn't go down like a lead fucking balloon. If it does, I'll shut the fuck up and never make anything like this ever again. But if it does go down well, happy fucking days. I've actually scripted this video today. Very unlike me, because I don't usually do that sort of thing. So I hope you'll come along with me. This, by the way, me and a barbell had a fight this morning. I was doing some power cleans this morning and I caught my throat. So sorry for that there. We do have Carter today as well. He's making an appearance. Aren't we so fucking lucky? I used to tell myself constantly that I'm fat and I'm ugly. And I used to avoid looking in mirrors because I already knew that I was fat and I was ugly, so why would I look? I had fuck all confidence, hated myself, and I truly believed that I didn't deserve anything good in life. And why I felt like that is completely irrelevant to the video. Maybe I will touch on it one day, but for now let's just put it down to an adverse childhood. It's not relevant right now. How did speaking to myself negatively like this actually make me this way? How did being constantly nasty and mean to myself and hating myself make me the fat eating alcoholic I was? I want to start off by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a girl with a mild fascination in the topic. I'm also a girl that's in therapy for said adverse childhood and other things. I just wanted to share with you how speaking like shit to myself affected me, and then how I changed that, and how speaking good to myself has changed my life. I'll try and not be as preachy as possible, but what comes with that comes with that. In modern neuroscience, there is a theory called neuroplasticity. I already had a brief understanding of this, but I went and did a little bit of reading into this, and I found a couple of papers that I'll leave in the description if you're interested in reading them, because they're very interesting. I wanted to give you a brief outlook on what neuroplasticity is, because I think it's important to understand actually what it is before we can understand how it affects us and how we can utilize it. I found this paper. It is called The Theoretical Aspects of Neuroplasticity, and it's from the Institute of Physiology, First Faculty of Medicine, Charles University, Prague, Czech Republic. It's from S. Trojan and J. Pokorný. Forgive my pronunciation. I'm British. So according to this paper, Trojan and Pokorný describe how plasticity is a part of the nervous system that allows it to develop, react, or adjust according to internal and external environmental changes, both under physiological and pathological conditions. But in this specific paper, the authors describe the different types of plasticity and what causes them to manifest. But essentially, the paper describes how these manifestations can be summarized. It's by functional plasticity, what causes rapid and reversible changes to the nervous system, and adaptive plasticity, which is based on the transformation of genotype to phenotype. So therefore, plasticity can cause both negative and positive effects during development. After an exposure to a biologically significant stimulus, long-term or repeated exposure to a stimuli, or it may also participate in the functional or structural recovery of impaired neural circuits. So I'm chatting wham. Awesome. Why is it important? Why is it relevant? Well, there's been research to show that neuroplasticity can also build pathways that alter our ways of thinking, not just how our nervous system reacts. Our brain believes in repetition. We know this. When you're learning to drive a car or ride a bike, it can feel clunky and unnatural. Over time, as you build those neural pathways via repetitive action, the actions become smoother and more natural, and this is because the repetitive actions are lighting this newly built neural pathway, making it stronger, and therefore you are able to perform the action more naturally because it's more ingrained. So when we speak negatively to ourselves, so saying like, I'm so fat, I'm so stupid, I'm so useless, I'm so lazy, we are building these pathways in ourselves that are reinforcing these ideas in ourselves. And this creates an identity loop that becomes self-fulfilling. Your identity rules your thoughts, which control your behaviors, which creates outcomes, which reinforces the identity. So creating this self-fulfilling prophecy therefore makes it more difficult to break away from. So if we tell ourselves we hate the gym and we don't want to go to the gym, guess what? It's going to be difficult to go to the gym, so we won't go to the gym. So therefore the thought follows through with an action which further strengthens the neural pathway. See what I'm saying? Via this, we're learning helplessness. When we lean into this thinking, we spiral further down a rabbit hole, and it can be difficult to break from this rabbit hole. We create almost like a constant loop of I'll start Monday, but Monday just never comes, and your brain basically just gives up because it's effort doesn't matter. Now I've got the sciencey bit out of the way. How do we stop it? How do we break this cycle? Because every time we say to ourselves, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm useless, I'm hopeless, I'm bad at this, I'm bad at that, I'll never be able to do that, I wish I could do that, we're creating, like I said, these pathways. So how do we stop it? Well, we have to create new neural pathways. We have to create them, and we have to make an effort to make them stronger. Brain is a muscle, and just like every other muscle in the body, if you want it to be strong, you have to work it. So for me, I was continuously telling myself that I'm fat and ugly and I don't deserve life, which created these pathways in myself, because the pathways are strong, led to actions that reaffirm the pathways, which reaffirm the thoughts, which reaffirm the pathways, which reaffirm by the actions, which reaffirm so on and so forth. So I would tell myself I'm fat and I'm stupid and I'm ugly and I don't deserve this, this and this. Because those thoughts in my head, I'd affirm that belief by actioning it, by going to McDonald's and ordering a large Big Mac meal plus 20 nuggets and going home and eating them in silence in my bedroom before then emptying the cupboards of whatever else there was to empty. This thought pattern, these neural pathways needed to be broken before you can change. So it started dead simple for me, and I took the leap of trying something new. If you're just meeting me, hello, like I said, my name is Lottie. I used to be really fucking fat and not anymore. If you're not seeing the video where I talk about how I got fat and how I lost it, I'll link that below, the physical stuff I did to lose weight. But I am now an Olympic weightlifter. It's my sport, I love it, and I do say in that video, and I still stand by in this video, that it saved my life. Finding a sport I could enjoy and brought me purpose week by week saved my life. I've had mental health struggles, as I said at the beginning of the video. Don't want to delve into it too deep now, but I suffer from something called CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's not something I like to shout about because it has debilitated my life in many ways. I've had to pick up the pieces in the last few years, and I'm in therapy for it, etc, etc, right? I decided, and I don't know, can't remember what prompted me to try this class. I went to my first Olympic weightlifting class. Afterwards, I felt brand new. I couldn't believe that I'd done something so anxiety inducing and something so difficult. But that one class sparked a light, a new neural pathway. One that was whispering, it was whispering amongst the other well-established negative talking pathways. It was whispering, you can do hard things. So each time I turned up to a class, that pathway got stronger and stronger. And not only was I finding myself capable, I was also enjoying myself, which was creating dopamine in my brain. And the dopamine feels good. We all know that. We know that, the happy chemical, the happy hormone. So I was feeling the benefit and feeling good from learning something new. So eventually, when I was feeling my way around my weight loss, the beginning of my weight loss journey, I wasn't in therapy yet, but I'd found the concept of positive affirmations through, for God's sake, through fucking TikTok. And I know what, you're all gonna fucking roll your eyes. I can already feel it. I too found them very cringy at first. A lot of wellness influencers will tell you to look in the mirror and smile and compliment yourself. And I am very beautiful. I am very smart. I am very intelligent. And do you know what? I'm sure for some people that works. And that, do you know what? If that kind of affirmation for you works, fine. But for me personally, as someone with, I don't want this to be a fucking me, but I've talked about this before, that I don't like crying on the internet. Myself, I have CPTSD, but I'm also autistic. It felt forced. I tried it and I hated it, and it felt disingenuous. I was standing there looking at myself going, I'm so beautiful, and I didn't feel it, I didn't believe it, and it felt forced. And because it felt forced and disingenuous, I couldn't get into the habit of doing it. What worked for me instead? Over time, figured out that positive affirmations don't just have to be statements of I am. And because I'm very evidence driven, I'm very logic driven as a person, I needed things that were backed up by evidence. Otherwise I didn't believe it. I couldn't just look at myself, I'm beautiful, because there's no evidence of that, right? I couldn't look at myself and go, I love my body, because there's no evidence of that. Instead, I started saying to myself things that were shown in evidence, such as, I show up when I don't want to, which is true, because I go to the gym when it's dark and cold and I'm tired from work, but I still go, so I show up when I don't want to. I eat well and I respect my body, therefore I love my body. Which is true, because I fuel myself based on whole foods, hitting macros and calories that I need to perform well. I may not love what my body looks like all the time, because if anyone says they do, they're a fucking liar, because I am too a victim of body standards. I love my body enough to look after it because it holds me. It's me. My body's me. I've said this before, the concept of the mind and body being disconnected. I don't believe in that. I am my body and my body is me, and looking after my body is looking after myself. Also things like I'm the type of person that follows through and then actually following through with something. So if I stood in the mirror and said I love my body, it just would have been fake and forced. Instead, I learned to say affirmations like my body is capable and strong, and it can get stronger through me taking better care of my body. So it's reframing these disingenuous affirmations that feel fake and forced and cringe into something that is evidence-based and truthful and believable? How do you start introducing these affirmations without feeling fucking weird and cringe? I'm no therapist, which I would like to be one day. As I've said previously, I am returning to university next year to do a conversion masters, and I would really love to work in therapy one day. So take what I say with a pinch of salt. This is just work for me. You gotta start small. You gotta find something positive about yourself that is true, and you say it to yourself. It doesn't have to be necessarily fitness, weight loss, or health related. It can just be, I make a really good soup. It can be anything. And then from there, once you've got past the awkwardness of talking to yourself, because I feel like that's a big thing in itself, is working past feeling awkward and talking to yourself. You need to then make the effort to stay in tune with yourself. If you find yourself saying things like, I'm stupid or similar, you need to stop yourself. The amount of times I'm sat at work and one of the girls that I love to death that I work with, she's wonderful. She has a PhD. She is intelligent. She always says these things to herself. And I just think to myself, you are so intelligent. Why are you constantly telling yourself you're not intelligent? So if you find yourself making mistakes at work or making mistakes in the home and going, oh, I'm stupid, or getting out of breath doing something, oh, I'm so unfit, you're just going back to that loop and reaffirm it to yourself. So we need to catch ourselves in those moments and going, why am I thinking that? What is causing me to speak to myself like that? What have I done to deserve to be spoken to like that? Instead of I'm stupid, we need to reframe it to something like, I've made a mistake. I now know why and how I made the mistake, and I can use this knowledge to improve next time. We're stopping the negative thought in its tracks before it can progress to light up that neural pathway and damage us further, stopping it in its tracks. And it can take some practice doing this because, like I said, the brain's a muscle. It does take practice. If you can just catch yourself once, that means you can catch yourself. And that means we can work on catching ourselves. So then from this, once we've started catching ourselves in our subconscious negative affirmations, we can then start incorporating talking to ourselves into our routine. So for example, if you get up every day at 6 for work and you say to yourself, I am consistent when you wake up, pairing that affirmation with an action, which is creating a habit and reaffirming this new neural pathway that you're building. I'm consistent, I get up at 6 a.m. every day and I do that action. Therefore, thought equals action, which equals thought was correct. Pathway stronger, which means next time you need to be consistent in something, your brain has learned that it is consistent because it can do that action that you told it is consistent. Does that make sense? So I use this a lot in the gym. Before a big lift specifically, I will stand there and I'll say to myself, I'm strong enough to do this. It wouldn't be on my plan if it wasn't. My coach wouldn't have given me if it wasn't. I'm strong enough to do this. I'm capable of this. And then I lift, I hit the lift, and then those words are affirmed by the action. I also do this whenever I find myself wanting to binge eat, because yes, I still struggle with why do I want to eat this right now? What emotion is causing this? Where is this emotion in my body? What will achieve? I have conquered the urge to binge before and I will again. I pair the affirmations with another technique that I was taught to help manage emotions, which is locating where the emotion is coming from in the body, which is a whole other topic, which is also very interesting. Positive affirmations are supposed to be the opposite of self-destructive. Part of what I do here on this channel and what the community surrounding me does is criticize body positivity and health at every size and those movements, right? Because body positivity and health at every size and fat acceptance use these techniques to avoid responsibility, and they don't actually understand the damage they're doing. So if you've ever seen the techniques that I'm talking about here used in those communities, they're using them to avoid responsibility, and these techniques are proven scientifically to help better ourselves and our lives. Simply put, I'm here because I care. I've had a couple of comments from people calling me mean, and I can understand why someone may think that. Don't get me wrong, I can understand why someone would think I'm mean. That's not my intention. My intention is to show people that, first of all, life is worth living and you deserve a life well lived, and you deserve to feel good in your body, and you deserve to be able and capable and strong and to do everything that you want in your life. And these fat acceptance communities don't want that for you. They don't want that for you. I hope that I'm living proof that your life can improve. It really is what you make it. If you want a healthy life, you can have a healthy life. If you want a fulfilled life, you can have a fulfilled life. It starts with you and treating yourself like you're a person who deserves that kind of life. You have to choose yourself. No one's coming to save you. And that's something that I had to learn the hard way. No one's coming. It's you. And that used to scare me. That thought used to scare me. I have to take responsibility for myself. I have to take responsibility for my own triggers, for my own body dysmorphia, for my own eating disorder, for my own alcoholism. It's me. It's all me. And now I find comfort in that. It used to scare me, but I find comfort in that now because I've proven to myself time and time again that I can show up for myself. So even when things do get dark or do get bad, I know that I'll be okay because I've been here before. So I'll leave it there. I know it was a little bit more of a serious video, and I hope it goes hand in hand with the video I made a couple of weeks ago about how I got fat and how I lost it. And I hope that gave you a little bit more insight into me as a person rather than just the court jester laughing at Anna O'Brien's go-go gadget arms. And I hope you found it useful. If this goes down like a lead balloon, I'll never make anything like this ever again. I'll shut the fuck up and I'll go back to being the court jester of acceptance reaction YouTube. But until next time, have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you again for another video over the weekend. If you've made it this far in the video, I'm going to ask something that might make you cringe, but I'd like you to write a positive affirmation about yourself in the comments. I'm going to do one, and I'm going to pin it. So if you made it this far in the video, do one, because I read every single comment. I may not reply to every single one because I don't have enough time in the day, but no, if you comment, I read it. Every single one. And I appreciate you all. Thanks for giving a fuck. Bow bow.